If you are a multi-passionate entrepreneur, today's episode is for you. This is a common thing that I face with a lot of my entrepreneurial clients in helping them get to their big goal destination that they have for themselves. As creatives and entrepreneurs, we always have a lot of ideas, so many ideas all the time. I could do this, and what about this? No, I could do this, and what about if I added on this thing to that thing? And we are constantly swimming with ideas. If we don't have cohesivity and a holistic approach to tie all of those ideas together, we end up spinning our wheels in idea land, never in execution land. We don't ever get anywhere. So today's question from a listener is a very relevant question for so many creative entrepreneurs, and I'm really excited to dive in. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Big Goal Energy. I am just so grateful that you're here. I can tell you've got big goal energy. Are you ready to turn your wildest dreams into your everyday reality? You are in the right place. Welcome to Big Goal Energy, the podcast that helps you turn your audacious and delusional dreams into your everyday life. We know that you don't settle for the ordinary, that you have dreams which others may deem unrealistic. But here, we help you defy reality and bring those dreams to life. Each episode of Big Goal Energy empowers you with knowledge, inspiration, and mentorship to conquer your most unrealistic goals. From transparent roundtable conversations to short-form episodes, you'll hear the experiences of women who have defied reality, as well as learn practical tips and strategies to fuel your journey. Join us by subscribing to Big Goal Energy, and together we'll turn your audacious dreams into remarkable achievements. All right, y'all, I'm not here to dilly-dally. Let's dive right in. Got a question today from someone who emailed it in. BT Dubs, if you have a question that you want me to cover on the podcast, just send it to info@breesealy.com. We will get it into the rotation and get you an answer. So here's the question. I have so many great ideas that I want to make happen, but I am confused by all of the options, and it is making me doubt myself and freeze. How do I figure out the right path without getting stuck in indecision and procrastination? Do I build all of the ideas? How do I know where to start? Help me, help me, help me. First things first, let's normalize this. This is a very, 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 very common issue for creative entrepreneurs. Ideas are in no short supply. They are coming to us left, right, and center all day, every day. Here's why we get confused and why we freeze. Our brains hate the unknown. Our brains also get very overloaded when there are too many inputs. I like to think of our brains like a computer hard drive or like a phone hard drive. When we put too many inputs into a computer, we try to do too many things at once, our computer will freeze. Or if you're familiar at all with electrical stuff, if you overload a circuit, it short circuits and it shuts down. If you've ever blown a fuse before, that's exactly what happens. Started happening to us in our house if we run the washing machine, the microwave, the water boiler, we blow a fuse because we're putting too many inputs into one spot and it's just like, nope. This is exactly what is happening with your brain. Your brain is no different. It is absolutely no wonder that your brain is freezing. You're overloading your circuits. Our brains also operate when we have a clear destination and a clear vision, because once we have that clear destination and that clear vision, our brain has a very specific set of parameters to work towards. Let's put this into a metaphor because it's easier to comprehend for all of us. I want you to think of opening up your Apple Maps or your Google Maps, your GPS, whatever you use. If you were to pick up that system and ask it to take you anywhere, it literally cannot take you there. I've done this before. Hey, Siri, take me anywhere. Where do you want to go? Anywhere, Siri, take me anywhere. Oh, here's this anywhere dog grooming place. Do you want to go there? No, I don't want to go there. Take me anywhere. Our GPSs need a very, very, very specific destination. You ever notice that the route to your destination doesn't pop up until you've put your destination in? Your GPS can develop the pathway, the route to get there when you've put in the very specific destination. And without a destination, there is no route. You don't get a pathway. Now, I am not a fan of building multiple things all at once because what that does is it puts like 15 different destinations into your phone, and your phone, Google Apps, Apple Maps, whatever, cannot take you to 15 destinations all at one time. If you try to, say, change destinations, if you're waking up today being like, this idea, and you're waking up tomorrow being like, that idea, it's going to leave you walking in circles, one step this way, one step that way, one step forward, one step backwards. Like, it dilutes your momentum and it dilutes your power. If you're splitting your focus, you are also splitting your impact. Instead of giving 100% to something, you're giving, if you have two ideas, 50% to one and 50% to another. Imagine if you have three, 33%, 33%, 33%. If you have four, 25%. What is the difference in impact between 25% and 100%? That's a pretty significant difference in impact. Let's go back to that GPS metaphor quickly. I want you to imagine putting your destination in and driving 5 blocks and then being like, wait a minute, actually, I want to go to a different destination. Reprogramming in your new destination, going 5 blocks, stopping, saying, hold up, I want to go to a new destination. You change it again and again and again and again. You are never going to reach any of your destinations if you're trying to go to all of them at once. Instead, I want you to think about a road trip. Now, on a road trip, yes, you're aiming towards all of the destinations, but you're only focused on hitting one destination at a time. Because again, you can't be in New York and LA at the same time. It's not physically possible. Energetically, whatever, we can talk quantum theory later. Physically, you cannot travel to both New York and LA at the same time. You cannot go to 2 destinations at once. How do we do a road trip? Well, we go to one of the destinations, we enjoy what's there, we experience all the things we're going to experience there, and then we add on the next destination to it. The trip builds upon itself. Even though you're leaving one destination to go to the next destination, it doesn't mean that you're leaving behind everything, right? You still have the memories, you still have the mementos, you still have all the things. You're literally building the destinations upon each other to create this really epic fucking journey, right? So that's the mindset that I want you to have when it comes to having multiple ideas.
Pardon this quick interruption. One of the biggest challenges ambitious entrepreneurs face is closing the gap between where they are and their big, big goal. I've created a resource for you that will help you navigate the journey more easily. Defy Reality, the female entrepreneur's guide to achieving her audaciously ambitious goals, will guide you through a process to 110% claim the inevitability of your big delusional goal, banish your doubts, and identify the exact steps you need to take to defy reality. Visit breesealy.com/free to get immediate access to this tool that will help you stop wasting your time so you can start defying reality. And now, back to your episode.
Now, as for where to start, unfortunately, that's not something I can speak to on this podcast because I don't know you well enough. I don't have all the information. I from my perspective, I can tell what steps I need to take next, but I just don't have your perspective to be able to tell you that. There is no recipe for how we build out an epic road trip. Your epic road trip may look radically different than my epic road trip, as it should. A good place to start would be, what lights you up the most? I get that that's a very esoteric answer, and you might say, well, they all light me up. Again, this process is a lot like crafting a road trip itinerary. You're going to want to go to some things before others. Some things are going to make more sense to go to first before you build on other elements. Some things are going to excite you more than others to determine that order. Some things are just going to wait to need to be built until other parts are built. This is not science. It's more art. It's a little more subjective of a process, and there is no right answer. You may also start building one of the ideas and say, oh my goodness, this is actually not the first idea to start with. I need to table that to the third idea because this idea and this idea need to come before it to build up to it. The thing to pay attention to here is that if you then do that and start building the other one and you're like, oh, but I need to switch again and I need to switch again and That clearly is a bigger issue that you need to deal with either on a mindset level or a therapy level. I do want to encourage you to pick a thing and start there and stick with it for as long as you need to get the momentum. I'm someone that tends to take steps before I probably should. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before with my nonprofit. I definitely have had a lot of questioning lately about whether or not I built it too early in my journey, just because there's still so much about my for-profit that requires my time and attention. We simply don't have the funding in the nonprofit to be building a full-on team right now. Some things, it's going to make more sense to do them later. And I encourage you, I wear a bracelet that says, enjoy the journey. And truthfully, as creative entrepreneurs, yes, we build things. Yes, ideas come to us. Yes, we bring them to life. It's super fun and super exciting. And really, more than anything, it's about the journey. Because once you build one idea, then you're going to be back in the journey again, building the next idea. And once that one's built, you're going to be back in the journey again, building the next idea. If you're looking for a book recommendation around this, one of my favorite books to read, I'm due to read it again. I usually read it about once a year, is The Alchemist. For me, it just helps kind of normalize that journey thing and helps take me out of the getting there concept, because there is no there. And as creative entrepreneurs, I don't know about you, I'm not retiring. This is going to be the rest of my life. I would just encourage you to enjoy the process, to develop up your road trip map, to focus on one thing at a time, and to build things in a really beautifully holistic ecosystem. I'll be coming out with some more stuff about your holistic ecosystem in your business in the coming months, so make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast so that you can learn more about that. I also wanted to share with you a quick opportunity that I have coming up that is going to help you build out a foundational structure so you can have this clear road trip map while also starting to build things and starting to build that momentum behind these ideas. I have an 8-week course starting at the end of October. It is called Defy Reality: Mastering the Pathway to Your Big Goals. This immersion is going to help you understand that pathway, that road trip that we just talked about, to those big, crazy, delusional, unrealistic goals that you have for your life and your business. It is truly going to help you defy reality and build sustainable success on your terms. Over the course of these 8 weeks, you are going to get absolute, complete, full fucking clarity on your pathway, just like we were talking about. You're going to uncover the exact pathway to your goal. You're going to understand exactly which actions to take, because as you will learn, I am about the quality of actions, not the quantity of actions. You don't need to take a million actions to bring your goals to life. You just need to take the right actions. We're going to identify what those right actions are for you. You're also going to feel so much more confident about this whole journey. And instead of waking up every day feeling like you're playing whack-a-mole with your dreams and your goals, you are going to be so clear, so confident, know exactly the right next steps. And I swear this last thing is the secret sauce for success. You are going to be surrounded by other like-minded, big goal-getters like yourself who are going to be on this ride with you. They're going to be developing their road trips. You're going to be developing your road trips. And we are all going to be building this momentum towards our big goals together. If this feels like you, if this sounds like you, I want to invite you to join us on this 8-week journey. If you're thinking like, now's not the best timing for me, like I'll get in next time when Bree does this again. When this course is sold again, this is the only time it's going to include me. This is the only time you're going to have access to me with this. After this, it's going completely digital, and you won't get my mind, my heart, my soul directly on your business. Now, those things will be baked into that program, but you will not get direct access to that except for this experience. If it feels at all resonant to you, hop on over to breesealy.com/defy, DEFY, and join us. We get started October 28th. And if you enroll by October 11th, you are actually going to get a bonus. You're going to get an hour-long call with yours truly. We can jam one-on-one, the two of us, outside of the group to help you accelerate your journey faster. If you're on the fence about this, at all, I highly recommend getting in on that because that is a $750 value. You're going to get that for free just by enrolling and joining us for these 8 weeks. If you have any questions about this, feel free to send them over to me and my assistant, info@breesealy.com. Happy to chat with you and jam with you to see if this is a good fit for you. Last but not least, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I love this podcast so much and I love answering your questions. So again, if you have any questions you want me to answer about your big goals, about your process, about your fears, about anything relating to you being the creative genius that you are in the world and bringing those big, audacious goals to life, shoot us an email, info@breesealy.com. So grateful you're here. Thank you for joining me for another episode, and I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Big Goal Energy. We trust that it fueled your ambition and made you feel seen. We are a community of ambitious female entrepreneurs like you. Come join us in the Big Goal Energy community by visiting breesealy.com/community. In the meantime, send your questions for us to cover in the episodes to info@breesealy.com. Together, we'll turn your audacious dreams into remarkable achievements. Cheers to defying reality. See you on the next episode.